Hi, my name is Scott Warren. I am the owner and founder of Heights Apparel. We make clothing for tall guys, 6'2" to 7' plus. The whole idea behind me starting Heights Apparel came basically just as a lifelong problem. I've always had problems finding clothes for my height. I'm 6'7", I'm about 205 pounds. So, I'm not what typically falls in that big and tall category. I'm just a tall guy that is slightly slimmer or average in width, right? And so the industry doesn't really cater to this specific niche. And so I basically just got sick of not finding clothes in the styles that I liked and decided to start doing my own thing. Aside from just the general struggle it is for any tall person and tall average weight person is to find clothes. The journey that I've been on over the last 4 years, trying to build my own brand and build the business is hard. It's extremely hard, especially as someone who's self-financed everything they've done with it. It's a lot of hats, it's a lot of time, a lot of sacrifice with that time that you do to choose to continue pushing the brand forward. On top of the fact of, I don't come from the apparel or fashion industry. I have built a career in a completely separate industry. And so the challenge is just learning how garment construction is, how the design process goes, what is the manufacturing process like, and that sort of thing, where you don't really, unless you come from the industry, you don't know all that information. And so aside from just the general I'm a tall guy, I need clothes that fit me challenges that I've come across, it's a whole new career field basically that I ventured into. But that's also what I've also found extremely exciting about it. Yeah, in the early days when it was still just kind of an idea that I was doing a lot of market research around, while doing that, I was also just, relying a lot on Google and seeing what information is out there on designing and garment construction. And I wasn't getting very far with it, let's say that. It was, a very time-consuming process to try to find information around this, and a lot of it I felt was just unreliable. Before I discovered fabric, again, it was a lot of Google searches. It was a lot of just finding information that people out there have experienced and chose to share that, and that's not very common for this particular field. And a lot of that information I just wasn't confident in. Partly it was just because of my own ignorance to the industry, but also before you make a big move like that, you want to feel confident in the information that you've collected, and I did not. And that was until I found fabric. I oddly enough found them through a Google search that popped up, and I immediately booked a tour of the facility. I went on the tour and learned real quickly that what Angela and Sherry have built was exactly what I needed, from learning, from free resources to small batch manufacturing. It had everything that I needed, and it was a dream come true for me because it eliminated a lot of the added guesswork. And so from that point on, I just began taking one-on-one classes with Angela, and we went through every phase of the design process to construct and create a garment. And that's the foundation that I lean on 4 years later to this very day. When you're a solopreneur trying to build a brand and a business from scratch, the days that you feel like you want to give up are many. You feel pretty siloed, and if it wasn't through fabric and meeting other solopreneur designers and business owners, I would not have been able to extend what I'm doing and kind of drive through some of those lulls and some of those valleys of that emotional journey that any small business owner takes, because you learn real quickly that you're not alone, and all these other solopreneurs and designers are going through the same exact struggles as you. And every time that I feel like I'm in one of those valleys, I call up or I'll text a fellow designer that I've met along the way on my path and just chat, catch up. And through that conversation, you learn real fast that, oh, hey, they're going through the same exact thing. And what that does is it helps you shift out of that that downer mentality, and it helps reinvigorate you, and it gives you some added motivation. It gives you more steam to keep pushing through the challenging times. So I've been very grateful for that, and again, a lot of that would not have come without my working relationship with Fabric. So it's very nice to have. What kind of Fabric has helped me in so many ways. I directly, indirectly, I've lost count, basically. I mean, the opportunity that I've had to get to work with them, be a part of their designer in residence program, to be a BIPOC grant awardee through Sherry and Angela over at Fabric, has really given me it's really the opportunity that's Fabric has provided me over the past several years that I've worked with them over there. Not just the knowledge, it's the indirect connections I've made, and some friendships I've made with other people that have come through there. It's the opportunity to continue working and building on something that I started, that was just a mere thought and idea that I felt like it can solve a problem. And every time that I've hit a roadblock, or that's something, Angela, Sherry, the team at Fabric have always been there to listen to me, provide some ideas, and even go out of their own way to help me solve the problem. And those are the sorts of things that you can't measure that. You can't measure that impact. But I know for sure that the state of my brand would not be where it's at today without the guidance, the support, and the help from Angela, Sherry, and the entire team over at Fabric.